What's up, everybody? Riley here with Four Seasons Archery. Welcome to our YouTube channel. We're going to go over the different styles, types of releases, and also go over how you activate them, when you might use them in a certain situation, and so on. So we'll start with probably the most popular one, an index style release. So index, obviously, you activate it with your index finger. Probably the most common one, but always a solid option. A lot of people think that if you're using one of these, you're a beginner to archery and so on and so forth, which is not the case. Yes, it's usually the beginning stages of archery. You'd use something like this, but there's also plenty of people, plenty of professional archers that use these in professional archery. Yeah, really solid option. There's a lot of different kinds. This is a hook style. This is a Stan Solex clicker. They make single calipers, dual calipers, the whole 9 yards. These are great for hunting. Again, like I said, you can use them in target. A lot of people use them. There's nothing wrong with it. But we'll go ahead and show you how to activate it real quick. I think everyone knows how to activate a release like this, but we'll show you anyways. Go ahead and get it hooked on. This is just a shot trainer. It's actually the knock-on shot trainer from John Dudley. But anyways, we're gonna wrap our index finger around the trigger. Get comfortable, and you wanna, same with any release, you wanna push and pull till it goes off. Yes, a lot of people will use these and punch them. It's technically not the correct way. You shouldn't be slapping at it. You shouldn't be slapping at any release, whether it's a thumb button, index trigger, anything. But the proper way is to push and pull, just like any other release. But anyways, that is an index style. We will move on to a thumb button. So probably the next most popular or next most heard of style of release. There's all sorts of them out there. This is again a hook style. This is the Stan Onyx thumb. They have ones with a closed jaw. Like I said, all sorts of different kinds. But it's activated like this with your thumb. Most of them have a lock, and then you use the thumb barrel, the thumb peg to activate it. These are really good for hunting. This is my personal release. This is what I use for hunting, the Stan Onyx thumb. Always a great option for any sort of target archery, indoor spots, 3D, anything like that. We'll go ahead and hook it up to the shot trainer, and we'll activate it. Again, get it hooked up, get your anchor comfortable, and then we're just gonna push and pull until it goes off. A lot of misconception with this style of release is people will upgrade from this release, an index trigger, and go to this and think it's going to fix all of their issues. And it's not going to. If you're punching this one, you're going to punch this one. I suggest learning how to properly use an index style release before you upgrade to this one. And if you have upgraded to a thumb button and things just aren't going well and whatever, I would go back to an index style. The next one we'll go over is a Hinge release. So this is the Stan Lynx. This is another one of my personal releases. This is the one that I use for target archery mainly. I don't typically hunt with a hinge. I have before, but it's not my favorite thing in the world to do. And these are activated by basically, I mean, the name tells you, it's you hinge like this. You also use some back tension. You want to make sure, you know, you're still pushing and pulling. You're doing that whole thing like you should be doing, regardless of the style of release that you're using. But for the most part with this, you're going to hinge. So the way that I get it to go off is once you get pulled back, you're anchored. What I do is I relieve pressure off of my index finger, this one right here. So I'll relieve pressure off of this, and then I will put pressure onto my middle finger. And then just by doing that, you can see it hinges for you. And at the same time, you know, you're pushing and pulling, and eventually it'll go off. This one I have set up with a click. You can go click or no click. That's totally up to you. There's no this is better than that or anything like that. It's just user preference. Go ahead and get this one hooked up. Again, you want to get back, get anchored, and you know, start pushing and pulling, start squeezing, and there it goes, and it goes off. Again, these are great for any sort of target application or just as a really good training aid. If you're having some issues with your thumb button and you're pushing and you're pulling and you can't seem to get this thing to go off no matter what you do, you can switch over to a hinge. And when you switch over to a hinge, it forces you to have to keep tension on it, and you have to be doing something. You have to be rotating, or else it will not go off. The next step from that for a training aid would be a resistance release or a true back tension release. So these releases go off, they're activated by straight up back tension. You got to push and pull, and eventually it goes off. Typically you'll set these, so if you're going to set them to go off at a little bit higher poundage than your holding weight. If you're holding 20 pounds, you'll set it to go off at 22, 23 pounds, something like that. These are a really good, if you're punching the trigger, or again, same thing. If you have a thumb button and you are just pushing and pulling and you cannot seem to get this thing to go off, get a resistance release and push and pull, and it'll make sure, by using one of these, it'll make sure you're pushing and pulling the correct way. Otherwise, it's not going to go off. So it really kind of helps you figure out where your flaws are in your shot process and what you need to work on and where you got to go and so on. So we'll show you how one of these work real quick. So most all resistance releases, they're going to have some kind of a locking mechanism that you have to hold on to while you pull it back. So this Onyx, this is also a Stain Onyx. This is, like I said, the resistance line. You're gonna, the thumb barrel, which would normally be like the trigger on a thumb button, you're gonna hold that down. So by holding it down, this thing, no matter how hard you pull, it is not gonna go off. So as you draw back, you hold that down, you get back, you get anchored. Once you get there, you let go and you push and pull, and eventually it'll go off. Awesome training aid. I suggest if you are learning how to use back tension, or you want to get away from slapping at the trigger with your finger or your thumb or whatever, I highly suggest picking up a resistance release. It'll help, I promise. As long as you take the time to figure it out, you don't just shoot it for a day or shoot it for 2 days, you actually attempt to use it the correct way, it'll fix a lot of issues that you've probably been trying to fix for a long time. And also, with the Onyx series, another cool thing that Stan does, this little silver barrel right here that's attached to the actual thumb peg, if you take this out, I'll do it with the thumb button. If you take this silver peg out and you put it in the thumb button, there's a, up by the trigger, or up by the keeper, the hook, there's a little hole that you can thread this into. When you do this, it won't let the little hook come up, no matter what you do to it. You want to work on your shot execution without actually shooting. What you can do is get back, you put that little thing in, you get back, and you push and pull, and see that click, that's when it was supposed to release, but it's stuck, it's not going anywhere. So it's kind of a cool thing that Stan does. I don't know if there's anyone else out there that has that. If they do, awesome. It's a really, really neat training aid kind of thing to have. But yeah, these are the different types of releases. There's a million different kinds from a million different brands for each style of release. The resistance releases are a little bit harder to find, in my opinion. There's not, almost every brand makes one, but they don't make a lot of different styles. It's kind of just, they make one and that's it. They're not real popular for hunting or anything. These are usually just kind of a training aid sort of thing. But yeah, these are all of them. These are all the different kinds. If you got any more questions about them, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a message, whatever it might be. You can check us out on Facebook. It's 4 Seasons Archery. Same thing on Instagram. Obviously here on YouTube. Please subscribe. Give us a like. Helps us out a bunch. You can also stop in and visit us. Our shop, the address is 18875 US 12 in Cement City, Michigan. We'd love to see you guys in here.